Hello, we are live. I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes. Today I am going to talk about projectors. I was supposed to go live in the Facebook group, but I was just having some issues and it wasn't going live. So here I am. My name is Taylor. I am a 6'2" emotional projector. When you guys pop on, if you're watching the replay, just say hello. Let me know if you're watching the replay. So I'm in this group called the Projector Posse, and it's all about projectors, all of us coming together to support each other and to help us all get into alignment. Projectors are very conditioned in the world because we are taught how to be generators, and we're taught how to just hustle, 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 which is not in alignment with what we wanted to do when we came here. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about human design, my most favorite system ever. And when you pop on, just let me know, say hello, hello. Hello to all my projectors out there. If you're new to human design and this is your first time tuning in, human design is a beautiful tool that's all about self-discovery. It's all about understanding who you are. And it shows me this little map that is, I like to say, the map to your soul. So before we came here, we decided who we wanted to be. And as we came into the world, we were in alignment with who we are. And throughout our lives, what happens is that the world tells us who you're going to be. That's really loud. I'm just gonna shut this window. And my window open. So over time, the world tells you who you're supposed to be, how to be successful, what to do in life, and do this and you will be abundant, make a lot of money, yada, yada, yada. So the thing with human design is that there are 5 different types, and I am a projector. And projectors have come here to guide others. They've come here to learn, to master a craft, and then to help others along their path. So we are very conditioned because we don't have an energy center within us, which means that we work differently than the rest of you. So 70% of the world is manifesting generators and generators, and projectors are 10% of the world. So, my cat. So, as a projector, you're here to manage, to direct others, because we have this innate ability to be able to see pathways of success that other people can't see. So for example, a generator or a manifesting generator actually sometimes have difficulties being able to navigate themselves. The reason being is because they have really big auras. They have a lot of energy, and so they kind of get enamored by their own energy, and they actually aren't able to see correct pathways or the best pathways. So, oh, my kitty. So projectors are very insightful, very intuitive. Our aura is actually penetrating. So we are very magnetic and our energy is very attractive. Naturally, people are just drawn to us because our knowledge and our expertise, and we love to learn. So whether or not you love school, personally, I did not like school, but I'm really into self-discovery. I'm really into learning about thyself, learning about others, and how we work in the world. So there's like this obsession, actually, I have with human design, because it tells me why you do the things that you do. And it also tells me where you can hold conditioning and where you are operating incorrectly. So when I found human design, I was so lit up and I was so excited about it because I've always wondered, why do certain people act this way and certain people act that way? And I just didn't really understand. So learning that I was a projector, I was like, oh, this all makes sense to me. Out of alignment, we can burn out. We are in the hustle and grind mode. We're exhausted. We can even experience depression, anxiety, never feeling like we have enough energy. We also lack self-awareness because we actually can't see into ourselves. We have a penetrating aura, and naturally we are only able to see outwards. So projectors, all projectors, have a really difficult time to be able to see their magic, to be able to trust their power, to be able to see within themselves. This is why it's really beneficial for projectors to have coaches or guides or therapists who can actually reflect back their energy and to be able to see into them. If you guys have any questions along the way when I'm sharing this knowledge, feel free to drop them in the comment box, and I will answer them at the end. I do have some questions that were already asked, so I'll be going through those a little bit later. So in human design, there's actually 3 different types of projectors. There's mental projectors, energy projectors, and a classic projector. So a mental projector has, I should have probably, we're gonna go like this. I'll show you a thing. So a mental projector, this is a human design chart, right? So a mental projector will have these two top colored in and defined. And then the rest of their chart will be undefined. You are considered a mental projector if you have the top 2 chakras colored in. So your crown and your mind. Your energy is very absorbing. This means that you are taking in other people's energy. All of the white centers in your chart is where you absorb energy. This can feel, as a mental projector, really exhausting. You're constantly overthinking, you're doubting yourself, allowing your head to spin around and around until you get into alignment. So when you get into alignment as a mental projector, your authority is how you're going to pull yourself out of your mind and that constant thinking. Because the mind is defined, your mind is like this computer or that just goes around and around, backing up data, storing things and comparing things. So as a mental projector, overthinking, worrying, and comparing things is very common for you. Then we have our energy projector. So in an energy projector, you will have 1 or more motors defined. Let me tell you. So your heart, your root, your spleen, and your throat are motors. I wrote that down twice. These centers make you go around and around and go. You kind of feel this pressure. I'm an energy projector, so we are naturally more energized depending on how many motors you actually have defined. This is kind of the level of your energy. So for example, I have my throat and I also have my root center. And the fact that mine are colored in, I kind of feel this this energy or push to do. However, we are one of the projectors that are most susceptible to burnout because we get addicted to this energy of doing all the time. We actually have to learn to pull back, because if we don't, then what happens is that when we do hit our burnout, it's like hardcore. You're like burnt out for weeks because you've been doing too much. You've taken on too much. And so if we don't learn to lean back and to unplug ourselves, then we will burn out. We'll get sick. The motors give us this like desire to do, get things accomplished, to always be active. And as an energy projector, our power is held by learning to lean back, learning to unplug, learning to go and do other things. So all projectors should be working anywhere from 4 to 6 hours or less, because when we are working, wow, it's so loud. My window's closed too. Because when we are working, we're very focused. We get things done really quickly. So for example, today I woke up, I did my morning routine, and then I started working on some things within my business. I am pretty much done for the day, and I would say that I was working from probably 10:30, maybe 11 until 1, and I got a lot of stuff done. So in this time when we are focused and we have taken care of our energy, we get things accomplished really quickly. So as an energy projector, you really want to learn to let go and understand that you're not meant to be doing all of the things. Okay, Kitty. And then we have our classic projector, which the definition is from the throat down, and you can have any of the centers. You have lots of open centers, and you're tapped into wanting and desiring energy. You really you crave it, you want that. So you're not someone who is going to feel that pull that a defined route would feel, but you're more about, I'm just doing this because I have to. That's the conditioning that you can find with yourself, is that you've been taught that you have to do, so you just end up doing it. A lot of the conditioning within a projector is that it feels very suffocating. So I want you to think about when you found out you were a projector. Why did you believe this knowledge? Why did you believe that you are a projector? Because something within you is like, oh yeah, I remember. What is the memory that you remember, or why you believe that knowledge? So you have to go back to that at the beginning when you start to decondition, because at the beginning, because we're taught to operate like a manifestor or a generator, we often don't believe the beginning part of our getting into alignment, because we're like, well, this was kind of working for me, right? And this is how I was taught, and so I'm kind of going to do that. But with human design, what you want to do is you want to try it on. You want to play with it. You want to play with this energy. You know, play around with only working 4 hours a day and being like, okay, I've got all this other time. Like, what can I do? So one of the questions that was in the group was, what do I do with all of my time after 4 hours? So first off, you can work up to 6 if you desire or have the energy to do so. But if you are feeling like you're lost and you don't know what to do, this is where I would challenge you to be curious around what would life be like if you didn't have to work all the time. Thinking about if you could only, if all you had to do was to work 4 to 6 hours a day, get all of your work done, what would you want to do with the rest of your time? What about interests, hobbies, playing? So all of our money is connected to our energy. Everything that you're desiring, getting into alignment with human design. So human design is energy, right? So what it's saying is that you want to get into alignment with your energy type. So everything within your chart, everything about being a projector, means that when you align with it, you'll be able to magnetize yourself and draw things in. That being said, I would challenge you to learn more about yourself. For so long, for however many years, you've been living like a generator, working and grinding and hustling. What would life be like if you didn't have to and still made the same amount of money? Without any stresses or worries, what would you do with your free time? So some options of what to do is that we're just natural learners, right? What I'm teaching you today, what I'm sharing with you today is that out of all of the types, a projector will most likely do exactly what I'm telling you to. Because we have come here for knowledge, we're thirsty for knowledge, we want it all, we want to align, we want to believe all of these things, and learn, you're most likely going to be the ones who will align quickest because you love this knowledge, you believe it, and you want to step into it. With that being said, I would challenge you to get to know yourself better. If you are feeling lost and you're like, I have no idea what to do with the rest of my time, the truth is that you have the freedom to do so. Because in those moments when you decide to step away, you get to have fun and play, relax, self-care, maybe work out, maybe nourish your body. You have so many different options of what you're doing, and in the moments of stepping away and trusting that the things that you desire will come to you, you magnetize yourself. So for example, I'm going to use my own life as an example because this is just natural of who I am. I have a defined self-center connected to my throat, so I like to speak about my experiences to help you understand. Last year in 2019, I held my own women's retreat here in Toronto, and I put out an ad to attract the clients because I didn't have a large following at the time, but I was really being called to lead these women. So I put out the ad. I had a lot of applications. I actually traveled to Atlanta for 10 days with my ex-boyfriend, and as we traveled and I put out this ad, I had so many applications coming in. I made sure that I only worked 2 hours a day. So every single day for 10 days, I was working 2 hours a day. I was taking on phone calls and discovery calls, trying to find the correct women for Quantum Queen. And literally, I landed multiple clients that week because I stayed in the limits. I was like, hey, this is my commitment. I'm only going to work 2 hours a day. I let my partner know, saying, I have these calls. I want to do this event. I'm going to get onto these calls, two to three of them a day. And then the rest of the day we can explore Atlanta. We can do whatever we want, yada, yada, yada. So in that structure that I created, I landed all of the people that were at the event. Now, when I came back, I didn't follow the same structure, and I found that I actually didn't have any success getting any more people. So I had hired a business coach at the time, and she advised me, she's a generator, so she advised me on what works for her and what works out in the world. And so I aligned with that. We did her marketing and strategy. We did all of those things, and I found that I didn't land any more clients. The reason being is because it wasn't aligned with my projectedness. And it has nothing to do with the fact that her knowledge wasn't truth. It doesn't mean any of that. The beauty with human design is that when you trust the way that you're meant to work, the correct people will come your way. And it takes this leap of faith at the beginning. It takes this leap of just trusting and leaning back. And I know it can be scary, especially when you're an entrepreneur at the beginning, being like, okay, well, you know, entrepreneurship and I'm still working a job, there's a lot of hustle and grind. Let me go into that knowledge. I made notes here, make sure that I didn't forget anything. So if you're a projector and you are you're an entrepreneur and you're also either starting your business or you are also working another job. So at the beginning of my journey, I was working, what I had done in order to kind of like balance my energy was that I would, I condensed my days at work to 12-hour days, which is very out of alignment as a projector, for the record. But I had been working like that for so long that I was so used to it. So at the beginning of my entrepreneurship is I would work these condensed days because I had thought in my mind, well, I'll work these condensed days and then on my off days, I'll work on my business and I'll be very focused and I'll try to get into alignment with that. So what I did, excuse me, is I would work Mondays and Tuesdays, 12 hours each. I would give my Wednesdays off, completely off, doing nothing, literally just watching Netflix, self-caring myself because I had just worked so much and I usually was exhausted. Or there had to be at least one day a week where I would give myself a nothing day, where I got to do whatever I wanted to do. It was my me day. And so at the beginning, you have to go through this process of kind of hustling, but also taking care of your energy. So you want to think about, how can I take care of my energy, but also get things done? And you have to balance it between the two. There's a lot of people who, I know my life coach, Amy Allchurch, she was a teacher at the beginning and she was working, her days at the school, and then she would have to work at night on her business. And she had to do that for a little while until she could really step out of that job. Now, that's sometimes what you have to do at the beginning of the entrepreneurship hustle, is that you have to kind of push through the grind. But what you want when you are deciding to do these things, you want to think about your self-care. So how can I pour back into my cup? How can I give myself time to play? Because your frequency, your energetics is what matters to find your clients, to find everything that you're looking for. So it's sometimes going to feel like a hustle at the beginning with an entrepreneurship. If you're somebody who is just starting a business and you don't have another job, then you can literally step into that. You can step into working the 4 to 6 hours and then stepping out and going and playing. How do you raise your frequency? How do you get excited for life? How do you go and just, enjoy life? Because that's why we've come here. We've come here we will find success. Our signature is success, but success is different for everybody. So for you, you have to decide what is success for you. What excites you in life? When you think about your dream life that was perfect, if you had no limitations, what would it be? And then creating the frequencies that match that. So for me, I dream of living in a beautiful mansion and having lots of money and having the freedom to travel the world and do a lot of things. This is my dream. Everyone's dream is different. Some people don't dream to have a lot of money, and that's your choice. So for you, you have to really think about, what are the emotions that your biggest dream give you? So for me, it's like happiness. I feel freedom. Playful, exploring. All of these are frequencies, right? So how do I create these in my current life? Now, to activate those things in myself, let's go back to the beginning of my journey. Monday and Tuesday, working and hustling like a generator. Wednesday, complete self-care and pouring back into myself and activating my frequency. If I had enough energy, could I go out and do all of the things, exploring, creating that freedom, yada, yada, yada. Then on my Thursdays and Fridays, I would pour in 6 hours, sometimes 8 if I had to, because at the beginning of your entrepreneurship, you are really building your foundation. And as you build your foundation, you're able to step back a little bit more. So I'm kind of in the process of now being able to step back, like pouring into it. And now I'm stepping back and really activating those frequencies of like, okay, after this for today, I'm going and doing whatever it is that I want to do, because in that going and doing whatever I want, I get to activate myself. And this will draw in the rest of the people for me. So one of the most important things as an entrepreneur at the beginning of being a projector is that you must show up. You must show up every single day. And this was really hard for me to accept at the beginning, because I didn't really like being seen. And this is kind of common for projectors, because we have probably been bullied. I've heard a lot of projectors being bullied. We have always felt like we weren't accepted. We've always felt like we're different, maybe the black sheep. There's a lot of us that hold a lot of like uncomfortability in like, I don't want to be seen. I want to show up, but like, I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to like know, right? And so there's this fear that we have at the beginning. But I want you to think about your business like a storefront. right? And so, one, it's okay to sell every single day, because if you don't sell, people are not going to come and buy. If you don't go and tell about your offers and share your offers, people will never come and buy. So you, as a business, your brand online is a storefront. Everything you do is a storefront. And if you're not putting out offers, if you're not sharing offers and letting people know what it is that you offer, people are going to be like, oh, she's closed for business. You know, oh, she's not there. She's not open today. And what will happen in not showing up is that people will be like, oh, well, she only shows up when she wants my money. She only shows up when, you know, this or this. So showing up every day as a projector on your platform, you do not need an invitation to show up on your platform. All you need to do, you want to think of your platform, your social medias, as your party. This is the way that I like to say it. Your Facebook group, your profiles, your Facebook profile, your Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, whatever platforms you're using, this is your party. And you want to think about, like, okay, if I were to walk down the street and we have all of the 5 types, if I don't tell anybody that I'm having a party, no one's going to show up, right? And so you want to be like, hey, I'm having a party. Like, come and hang out with me. Here you go. And you're handing out those invitations to people. To wait for the invitation does not mean that you're sitting at home and doing nothing. When we are waiting for the invitation, this is only for, it's only for when you are to share your knowledge. So for example, today I am going live. I was invited to go live in Projector Posse, but I couldn't go live in there, so I went on here, but I was invited. It was an open invitation for anybody to show up to share their knowledge. If I had just come into the group and instantly went live and was telling people everything and all of the knowledge about who we are as projectors, they would not have been very susceptible to it, right? Because I was not invited to do it. And it makes our penetrating energy kind of like abrupt and repelling in a way, right? So the strategy as a projector to wait for the invitation is only about sharing your knowledge, sharing your advice, sharing all of that. Now, when it's in your platforms and your space, you do not need to be invited to do so. So that means as you're building an online business as a projector, you want to be showing up every day, showing people that you're serious about your business, and sending out offers, inviting people into offers, being like, hey, I offer one-to-one coaching, and if you feel the pull, definitely come and reach out. I'd love to support you. Simple as that. That's it. And just talking about it every single day, because as you get more comfortable with talking about your offers, people will start to take you more seriously. People will be able to, it takes somebody, I forget what it is, I think it's like somebody needs to see an offer 7 times before they actually buy, or some people need to see it 7 times before they buy. Some people even need to see it more than that, right? There are a lot of people who watch, who don't engage. I don't know how many people I've seen jump up on and off of this live right now. Nobody's engaged, and that's okay. But I'm here showing up to my party, sharing my knowledge, and those who want to stay will engage, right? Or you don't even have to engage, it doesn't matter. But more often than not is that it's important as you're building a business as an entrepreneur that every single day you show up, every single day you're talking about your offers, because you are a storefront. You as a person are a storefront. So with that being said, the key to your success is about the balance. Working and then playing. Literally playing, because in the play is where you magnetize yourself. You live life. Like, I want you to ask yourself, what is your bliss? What are the things that make you just feel like high on life, excited about life, happy, joyful, all of these like bliss emotions. What are the things that make you feel that? And then go out in life and do them. Do them now, not later. Because life is not about building the business and then you get to reap the rewards. It's about enjoying the journey along the way. It's about enjoying every single moment. And as you enjoy every single moment, you literally magnetize yourself. So for me, play can look like many different things. Sometimes it's relaxing in the sun. I'm a Leo, so I really love to just lay in the sun like a cat. Listening to music. Music is a huge thing that helps me feel bliss. Going for a drive. Going for a drive and blasting my music. Like, I am that obnoxious driver who has the music so loud and dancing in her seat. That's me, and I have no shame about it. Because as I'm driving with the windows open, I am high on life and just in my own energy. And in this, I'm feeling freedom. Freedom in this drive with just music loud and enjoying my life. Like, that's what it's about. And when you enjoy your life, when you take care of your energy as a projector, everything else will align. You just have to lean back and trust it. What else we have here? Talked about bliss. The more that you can understand at the beginning that your energy levels are everything and they will help you align is when you will step into your success better. So for projectors, taking a break is important. If you're juggling I've got a career and I'm creating a new business on my own, taking a break is super important. Celebrate your wins. Take a nap if you can. Rest your eyes if you can. Learn to play and activate that soul on fire energy that's inside of you. And most of all, just show up every single day in your business. Spoke about that. 4 to 6 hours. Yeah. I kind of went off on a tangent than what I wrote out, but that's kind of what happens with me. So yeah, I spoke about this before, but if you don't know what to do, if you're unsure what to do with the rest of your day, this just means that you haven't really allowed yourself to play in life. This means that you haven't really allowed yourself to enjoy. And do you even know what enjoying life is and what you enjoy? Pick up a hobby. Creatively express yourself. So all projectors essentially have come here to learn all of the knowledge. So you might find that like reading a book, laying, speaking and talking about a sisterhood or connecting with sisters, connecting with mastering your craft. In the time that you're not working, we should be mastering our craft. Or in the time that we're waiting for the invitation, we should be mastering our craft. Because as we master our craft, we also are creating confidence within ourselves, creating that trust and the knowledge that we believe and we know we have. And then when those invitations do come in, we're prepared. We know what we're talking about. We have the confidence to talk about what we want to. So whatever it is that you're becoming an expert on, there's always more to learn. There's always more to memorize, to show up for, always more to show up for your business, for your party. Invite people to the party, invite people to your Facebook group, invite people to slide into your DMs. You can invite other projectors, you can invite any other type into your space. This is your party, and I want you to think about your business like that. Wow, I think somebody's racing outside. I have so much to talk about. Let's see. So we naturally know as a projector what and that we need downtime. We naturally just know this. I want you to think back into your childhood, or think back into just your life and your career of like when you were like, I need a break, but I'm not going to, and I'm going to push through it. These are those moments that the world of the conditioning comes in to teach you that no, you can't take a break and you have to push through and keep going. Oh, tired is just part of life, like not a big deal. However, that's not really the truth. I would have to say the more that I step into my projector energy, which deconditioning from the world at my age, which I'm 30, will take about 7 years. So I'm 2 years into the process, and it takes time. It is speeding up. Some people are going quicker, especially with all of the planets and the shifting happening, but that is what Ra said at the beginning, who is the creator of human design, is that it takes about 7 years to get into alignment with your human design. I want you to think about why things haven't worked out for you in the past, and why you're here wanting to know more knowledge about human design. And in human design, one of the sayings is that the body leads the way. Oh, my foot's going numb. Is that the body leads the way. So when we are out of alignment, what this means is that your body will break down and literally force you to sit down. So this is why we run into burnout, because we are hustling and grinding, which is out of alignment to who we are. And then what's happening is that we get exhausted, we get burnt out, and your body's like, no, this is not how we're meant to operate. So we're getting sick, so that you sit down and you stop hustling. And I didn't realize this after I heard this. I think it was in a recording with Ra. After I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, I burn out like every other week. And I was just like, that's why I burn out. That's why I'm so exhausted in life. And I would have to say that, like, when I realized this, it just, everything clicked for me. So taking care of the projector body is essential. So I want you to, if you're new or you're just learning, taking care of your projector body is essential to everything. It's essential to your growth. It's essential to your energy. It's essential to your frequency. It's essential to your aura. When you are tired, nothing is going to come your way because your energy, your frequency is low. And there's also, there's many different things. Let's talk about eating. Let's talk about working out. Let's talk about all of that. So projectors actually don't do really well with heavy workouts because it has to do with the fact that we don't have an energy center, and also just the way that our body works. So because we're very absorbing, what you actually want to be doing is working inwards instead of working outwards. For example, meditation, stretch, yoga, light weights, and slow, like Pilates is really great too. All of those things where it's not high intensity, because when it is high intensity, what's happening is that it activates your central nervous system, right? You're putting stress on the body. So because projectors are absorbing, you absorb all of this stress, sending your body into high cortisol, and then sending your central nervous system into your sympathetic nervous system, which is all about fight, flight, or freeze, which is not where we want to be operating. So learning that projectors actually do better with light workouts or working inwards like meditation and yoga means that we are relaxing our bodies more, and we're bringing our central nervous system down to your parasympathetic, which is where you want to be. Getting yourself into your parasympathetic nervous system, I'll share my experience, is that I was a heavy workouter. Like, I used to work out 5 times a week. I had a personal trainer. I would burn out almost every other week, and I would have to cancel. So for the longest time, I wasn't really understanding, and he was saying it was because I wasn't eating enough, but that's not really the truth. what it was is that it was too much stress on my body. I actually started gaining weight when I was working with him. I wasn't losing. My body was holding on to all of this weight because I was like creating so much stress in my body. And we would do lifting weights, which worked really well for me because it was like slow reps. But when we would do high intensity stuff, I would burn out probably a day later. And I didn't really realize this until I was speaking to one of my old coaches, Oliver, and he's like, what about working inwards? And then it just clicked to me, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I realized that the reason I kept burning out was because I'm just not meant to work that way. So I got rid of my personal trainer. He didn't agree with me, but I was like, I'm going to try this new thing. He's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, nothing. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to work out at all. I actually started losing a lot of weight, and it just started to flow off of me. I started meditation. I was doing yoga twice a month. That's it. That's all I needed. And naturally, I was just eating intuitively. So learning your central nervous system is really where you want to focus as a projector. You want to learn how to calm your system in all ways. Let's talk about food. So there is, let me pull it up on my phone actually. In your body graph, if you go to your body graph as a projector, so I'm a quad right, and the top red arrow, this one over here, this top red, I guess it would be left arrow, but it's the red one. This is all about your digestion and your concentration. What is it? Sorry, I had a brain fart. Consistency. Digestion and consistency. Sorry. And so if it's pointing to the left, this means that your digestion in your food, or the way that you digest life and food and all things around you, is in a more structured way. For example, if I had a left pointing arrow, I would do really well with very structured eating and very organized eating. So I could eat at the same time every single day. It also means that you need consistently the same routine. So, for example, it wouldn't be very beneficial for you to do fasting. If you were to do fasting as a projector, you want to be very structured around it. So having a very structured system so that your body can know and expect when that food is coming in, and it can balance yourself out. If you have that top right arrow pointing right, you digest life in more about like intuitive and flow. So the right arrows, if they point right, it's all about the feminine. It's all about creativity, being in the flow, being intuitive, emotions, etc. So for me, I'm a quad right in everything. And for me in digestion is that I don't do really well with structure. It feels very suffocating to me. I do not like structure. Of course I need to have some, but it's structured in a different way. So instead of having timed things, it's more about how I'm feeling. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes, depending on as a woman where I am in my cycle, there are some weeks where I'm super hungry. There's some weeks where I'm just not hungry at all. And fasting does really well. People who have a right pointing arrow actually do better with less food. So when I had my personal trainer, he was like, you need to eat 5 meals a day. And I tried this, and no wonder I was gaining weight, because it was too much for me. I also felt really tired and like very like, ugh, the whole time. So that was really important when I found that out about my own digestion, that like I don't need as much food as I'm giving myself. Things just started to fall off of me without even doing anything. Meditation, bring your central nervous system down, and that's easy. If you are pointing left, working out may be very good for you, but just remember not to be super intense with it, because projectors, you need to conserve your energy. As a projector, it's all about your energy. Everything in your life is about your energy. So you want to conserve your energy. Naturally, with eating as a projector, because we don't have that sacral that the generators and manifesting generators have, we are snackers. And we actually work better as snackers. So for example, today I had, or just before I came on here, I had 2 tomatoes, salt and pepper, and I had a couple crackers with some hummus. That's perfect for me. It just tied me over. And actually after this, I'll probably go and have something else to eat. But that's all about little healthy snacks along the way, because these healthy snacks are going to fuel me throughout the day. If you're somebody who eats 3 big meals a day, pay attention to your energy levels. Pay attention to how do you feel after you eat those big 3 meals. When I learned this, I realized why I used to get the itis after eating, where I literally like need a nap and I'd be like, oh my God, I just need a little like 20-minute napper. And the reason being is because our bodies digest food different. And so when I was eating these really big, heavy meals, like a lot of animal protein, a lot of everything, I found that my body would take so much energy to just digest this, right? So you want to just pay attention to that. How are you feeling after eating? And if you're feeling good and energized, great, no problem. Continue the way that you're working, but just really be in tune with yourself of what works for you. Also, eating light to heavy. So for example, I start with my vegetables and my fruits in the morning, and then at the end of the day, I'll have my meat. I've learned to actually kind of get off of meat because I noticed that it kind of makes me feel stressed out. It also just doesn't give me a lot of energy. Yes, I feel full, but then I actually like need a nap. Like around 7 o'clock almost every day after I have my dinner, I kind of need a nap. So just pay attention to that. You also want to think about if you're going to have protein on every time that you eat your vegetables first, eat your protein last. Because your protein takes so long to digest and your body takes a while for it to break down, that if you have your meat first, what happens is that your meat's here and then your vegetables are here. And because this takes so long, is that your vegetables start to like rot inside of yourself, creating a lot of problems in your body, creating probably even like gut rot, stuff like that. So eat your vegetables first and then have your meat on top, and then it will naturally, the vegetables will come out correctly, and then it has time and nothing's sitting behind there kind of rotting. What else we got here? If you have an undefined root center, meditation will be so good for you. For all projectors, it's actually really a great habit to get used to having an empty out process, where because we are absorbing everybody's energy, what happens is that we take on other people's energy and then we connect to it, right? Because we have that penetrating aura, it's like you want to think about it as like a plug. We're plugging into people, we are navigating their energy, and what can happen is even if we unplug, we can still be running off of their sacral or running off of any of their motors in their chart. That being said, having an empty out practice, there is even an Instagram thing that's called empty out, and you can follow it, and she teaches you things on how to empty out your energy for the day. This is really great for projectors, because then it leaves you recharged. It will allow you to fully rest, and the next day you can just function better. Naps are normal. Projectors love naps. It's just kind of like, and it doesn't even have to be like a 20-minute nap. It can be like a 3-hour nap, and we love it, and that's normal for us. So do what feels best for you. If you need a nap, you need a cat nap, allow yourself to have that, and don't feel guilty about it. Jess Fields, who is a projector, she posts all of her naps, and I love it. It's adorable. What else we have? Water is important for your body. Oh, sleeping. Sleeping is a good one. So, when I heard this, it made me understand why I couldn't always sleep next to certain people. So, I used to date, gosh, I think almost every single one of my boyfriends except for the last one was a manifesting generator or a generator. And every time I would be next to them, I could not sleep for the life of me. Reason being is because generators and manifesting generators have their sacral going. They have their motor, right? And if you are somebody who has a partner who's a generator, Ra says to not sleep with them, but like, it's just not realistic. Like, to tell you to not sleep with your partner sucks. So if you do have a partner who is a generator or a manifesting generator, or even your children, for example, if you co-sleep with them, just be aware that as you go to sleep, you're never going to fully recharge. So trying to find time to take a nap without them, trying to learn how to unplug from them, having alone time, really resting and recharging yourself. If you can, have a me day and sleep away from them for one night a week so that you can fully recharge and your energy is at the maximum capacity. Because sleeping next to someone, because we absorb energy, when you're within somebody's aura, you are absorbing their energy, right? So just be aware of that. And you can take on anything within their centers as well. So just have that awareness. If you find that you're exhausted, burnt out, etc., just look into that. If you suffer insomnia, I used to suffer from insomnia. I didn't understand why. The reason being is that projectors are meant to lay down and get horizontal for an hour before you go to sleep. This was definitely not something that I used to do. I do it all the time now. I'll lay down in bed and then I'll have like my time on my phone, and I'll do a meditation, whatever I feel called to. So if you do suffer from an insomnia and you are a projector, definitely know that you have to get horizontal. My nephew was suffering from insomnia, and I told my sister, I was like, he needs to get horizontal. He also needs to empty out that energy. So he could be connected to his sister, who's a generator, or even her as a generator. So just letting her know that really helped him with his sleeping. Coffee as a projector is not really good for us. If you have a defined root, you probably are not very affected by coffee, and you notice that it might not do anything, but you like the taste of it. The reason why it's not really good for us is because it's connected to our adrenal glands, and coffee really affects the adrenal glands. So if you drink a lot of it, that's okay, but like try to cut back because it doesn't do too much for you, and it actually it makes you more sick. So just be aware of that. Food, we talked about that. Yeah, cool. What else we got here? Talked about the entrepreneur hustle. Somebody had asked me the question about money, and I think I've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'll just kind of reiterate it. Your money is attached to your energy. So before I realized that this was the truth, I took Projector Paradigm with Amy Church, and she spoke about how our money is attached to that, how manifestation is attached to that. And when you're fully energized, you're able to magnetize that and bring it into your life. So when you're rested, when you're high on life, excited, happy, living your best life, you're going to attract all of those things that you want. So, manifestation. So, if you are a manifester, so as being a projector, to understand if you are a specific or a non-specific manifester, this bottom black arrow, this one. So the bottom gray arrow is all about perception and manifestation. If your arrow points left, You are all about the masculine, structure, discipline, routine, organized, details, very focused. In order to manifest money, manifest clients, manifest whatever it is that you're trying to manifest into the world, you are meant to attract things in a very specific way. So meaning that it's all about, let's use a client, for example. You're trying to call in your kismet client, your soulmate client. I want you to think about the details of the client. Who are they? What is their income? What's going on in their life? What are they looking for? What are they on the search for? What keeps them up at night? And writing that all down and then creating a manifestation plan around that and having a routine to be able to focus on your manifestations that you're calling in. If it points to the right, you are a non-specific manifester. And I'm a master at this because I'm a quad, right? But calling things in is more associated with the feelings and the frequency of it. So what I mean by that is when you think about your kismet clients, what if you had them in your life, what would that bring you? What emotion would you feel? What frequency would you vibrate at? How would you feel in your life? Probably successful. You would feel excited, playful, jazzed, whatever it is, happy. So what's important for you as a non-specific is that you go out and you create these frequencies in your life. You really connect with the emotions and the feelings, and then you kind of release it. You allow it, you let it go. So I was cleaning my house the other day, and I found one of my lists of manifestations, and I was like 0 to 3 months manifestations. I wrote down all of these things. I wanted to manifest an iPhone 11. I wanted to manifest making $1,000 in one of my online things. I wanted to manifest, what else was on there? There was a couple other things. I can't remember now. I just came across it the other day, and I was like, oh my God, check, 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 check. And that's the thing, is because the emotions that were tied to it were happiness, joyful, freedom, all of these things. So what gets to be part of my everyday life is that I have to activate these frequencies in myself. If you're interested in learning more about manifestation and money and calling in based off of your chart, I do have a masterclass that is called Manifestation by Design. And I'll drop my link below, and you can go and invest in it. It's a replay, and you can keep it for life. You get a meditation, a hypnosis, and the work booklet on what to create for yourself that's in alignment with yourself. So it's a whole master class on that, which is really cool. And I speak in more depth of that. I speak about the frequencies of money. I speak about how to activate this into your life, how to call the things in based off of your chart, because as I learned my money manifestation, I actually understood that, because I've taken all of Manifestation Babe's courses, and she teaches you to manifest things in a specific way, and I found that sometimes things would work for me and sometimes they weren't. When I found out I was a non-specific manifester, I realized that, oh, it's because I'm doing it incorrectly. So now I find it very easily to apply the methods that I've learned from her to call the things into my life. What do we got? Waiting for the invitation. I think we're almost done. So somebody had asked about, let me just go back here. I talked about the body, yes. Entrepreneur, hustle. Success. I spoke about success. Think about what your perfect life would look like. That's how you can determine what your success is and what success is to you, because that definition of success is different for everybody. My definition of success is not the same as yours, or it might be, but we all have our own idea of what success is to us. Waiting for the invitation. I spoke about this. So waiting for the invitation, I'll just kind of go through a little bit here. You're not sitting down on the couch doing nothing. You should be doing things. Just this means that you're not going to be cold messaging people. You're not going to be going into people's inboxes and trying to get them to sell from you. You're not going to be pushing your sales on anybody on someone else's platform. What you're going to do is you're going to show up to your party, show up to your platform. Invitations can come in different ways. So it's not always a formal, like, hey, can I, or asking a question. It's not always like that. Sometimes it can be this energetic pull that you kind of are noticing. So as you start to learn about waiting for the invitation, you start to get comfortable with, like, not pushing those sales on people. It's just about sharing and being like, hey, I have this offer and this might help you. Or, for example, if somebody comes into your space, your page, posts on something that you said, and they ask a specific question. Oh, I want to know more information. There's a formal invitation. The invitation can also be you are perusing, or maybe just walking down the street and somebody smiles at you. That is actually a form of invitation. If you feel this energetic pull to somebody, it's also a form of invitation. So as you start to play with waiting for the invitation, you will understand, you'll start to recognize it. You'll start to get more comfortable with it. If you have more questions about that, let me know. You'll soon understand that the best things come from waiting for an invitation. Nobody likes unsolicited advice at all. Nobody does. But more so, people in the projector, like projector plus whatever type, they don't like it even more, because what we're doing is we're like penetrating someone's aura without permission. And this is very repelling. People are like, yo, I didn't ask for your advice, like, chill. You know, so throwing advice on uninvited is never fun. So you'll learn that it will always be best received when people ask. Then we have the authority, and this is our last one. And I'm not going to go too into detail about this because there's a lot of different authorities, but somebody had asked in the group about splenic authority. And splenic authority is your senses. So depending actually what gates are in your spleen, this can also affect on how loud or quiet it is as well, and how it speaks to you in what ways. But your spleen is in the chart, is all about your survival. This is where fight, flight, and freeze are. This is where your awareness is. For example, I love this example. People really get it when I say it like this, is when you have a defined spleen in your chart, you have this like inner knowing. For example, what is that? For example, if you have a defined spleen, you could walk into a restaurant, you can go, the vibe is off on here, we should leave. If you don't leave and trust that instinct that just sent off, something bad will happen. So, and I say bad, like, you know, you could get sick. Something could just go wrong. Your food's not correct. A drink gets poured on you. But usually you get sick. So you could get food poisoning, etc. If you don't listen to that first whisper, you will not hear it again. Your spleen only speaks once, it does not speak twice, and if you miss it, it's a little whisper. So through conditioning, people with splenic authority at the beginning is because you have not listened to it, because you didn't trust your instinct right away is that the whisper becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. But as you start to learn it and trust it, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? You want to think about that. There is no logic to this. It's not your mind. This is your spleen. You won't understand why it's saying what it is, but you just have to learn to trust it. And that's the biggest thing with the splenic authority. If you do have a different authority, I do invite you to my masterclass on Tuesday at May 26th at 3 p.m. EST, because I'm going into all of the authorities. I'm going into everything. I am going to be explaining the difference between types. It's not just for manifestors or projectors or anything. It's for all 5 types and how they're different for each. So how the centers kind of impact your authority, etc., etc. So I'll be going deep into that on Tuesday. The masterclass is at 3 p.m. So if you're interested in learning more about authorities, definitely come and join us. It will be live, and then you get the access for life. If you are an emotional authority, though, I invite you to my Emotional Authority Mastery course, which starts June 9th, because the emotional authority is the trickiest authority of them all, because all of the gates in the emotional authority actually determine which wave you have. For example, there are certain gates and channels there's 4 different types of waves. And if you're somebody who has all 4 of them activated in your emotion center, you could feel as though you are somebody who has really, really big emotions. You can feel up and down and all over the place. But if you're somebody who just has one of those channels, and it's one of the calmer waves, you could be like, I'm not really that emotional. Like, I do feel emotions, but like, they're not like crazy. This is because there are 4 different types of waves. So I have created this 6-week course that is all about mastering your authority, mastering your emotional authority, understanding it about yourself, understanding and identifying how to lead yourself. So in human design, it is so important for us to master our authority and our strategy. That is the first step in deconditioning. So if you are somebody who doesn't have an emotional authority, I invite you to the masterclass on Tuesday, which is going into all of them. And I'll be talking about how to use your strategy with your authority so that you can start getting into alignment. And then if you are that emotional authority, I invite you to the course. It launches on June 9th, and it'll be live, and then you get the replay access for life. All of my products, all of the things that I offer will always be access for life. That's just the way that I run my brand. And you will also get access to the updates. So over time, as I continue to build and to rerun my programs, I will be adding, changing the way it's laid out, etc., etc. So because you get the replay on my website, you'll have access to the updated versions in the future as well, no matter what, for life, which is really cool too. Yeah, and that's it, guys. Thank you to whoever stayed the whole hour. I don't know who you are, and I can't even see, but hello, I love you. Thank you for staying. If you're seeking support in any way and you desire to know more or desire to work with me, I do offer one-to-one coaching. I also offer human design readings where we can start with either a basic, or we can go through a deep dive into your chart, going into all of the channels, everything, depending on what you want. Reach out to me. Send me that invitation, because I'll never drop into your inbox. I'll tell you about my parties, but that's it. I will never drop in. Sending you so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. The next time I'll be up is, my next program is May 26th, Tuesday, and then June 9th. Love, love, love. Have a good day.